Can't believe we still have to wait another 5 months to see the film. Also at this year's Cannes Film Festival was the Indigenous Screen Office, who hosted the first ever International Indigenous Co-Production Forum. The ISO, which champions Indigenous screen content, was recently worried about future funding. Joining us now to talk about it all is ISO CEO Kerry Swanson. Kerry, thanks so much for being with us here. As we mentioned in the intro, you were at the Cannes Film Festival, which seemed like there was a who's who of Indigenous actors, producers, filmmakers there this year. Can you tell us about the Indigenous Screen Office's work while there?
Yeah, so the Indigenous Screen Office basically did a takeover this year of the Canadian Pavilion. So we worked with our partners at Telefilm, and Ontario Creates, the provincial funder here. And we had a full day of Indigenous producers. There were 20 producers from around the world talking about how we can stimulate international co-productions between Indigenous peoples. So we had delegates from 8 from Canada, as well as delegates from Australia, New Zealand, Greenland, and Sami land in Northern Europe.
I think this is, one of the premier festivals over the last 30 years, ever since Pulp Fiction probably. What does it say to you that, there was so many Indigenous creators there?
Yeah, I mean, it shows it's an exciting time. There's a ton of momentum for Indigenous screen content, and our producers were there really engaging and taking up space in Cannes in a way that I don't think has really happened before. So it was really exciting to have that presence, and also to be that presence as Canada. So, one of the things we're saying as the ISO is that where Canada is present, we have that big national presence. We expect Indigenous Canada to be present as well. And, within that, we bring our colleagues and our peers, our cousins from the international Indigenous community as well.
Awesome stuff. Well, the Indigenous Screen Office has a lot going on. You've just announced a $1 million contribution to the building of a film and television production studio in Iqaluit. Can you tell us about that project?
Yes, we're so excited to support this project. It's our largest investment to date. And we were first in funder for the building of a new studio. Red Marrow Productions is leading that project, and it allows them to shoot their new series, which is actually an APTN, CBC, and Netflix production. It allows them to shoot it in Iqaluit. Otherwise, they would have had to shoot in the south. So we're really proud to have been the first in funder. Our funding triggered a private investment in the studio and allowed it to go ahead.
Exciting stuff for Iqaluit and for all of us when that project comes out. The ISO recently did speak up, though, about being on the edge of a funding cliff after being excluded from this year's federal budget. Can you tell us a bit about that and what would be lost without the ISO?
Yeah. A little bit of a frustrating experience. We have a 3-year contribution agreement with the federal government. ISO was actually founded with a shared mandate with the federal government to increase narrative sovereignty across this country. And we've done an incredible job building this organization and supporting Indigenous storytellers across the country. And we were expecting to have our contribution agreement renewed in the last budget. It wasn't. We are working very closely with Canadian Heritage. We're in ongoing dialogue, and I am confident that they're going to have a solution for us, an answer for us soon. So we're waiting on that. I don't think the ISO is going anywhere, but we're really saying to the government that we need terms that work for us, allow us the time to plan and to work in the way that we need to in order to ensure our continued success.
Good stuff, Kerry. Well, it's an exciting time for sure for the industry right now, for Indigenous peoples. Appreciate you taking some of your time to speak with us about it.
Thank you so much.